what's going on, everybody? You're now tuned in to PVD Horror. I'm Brandon, and today I'm joined by my co-host Dave. We're back again for What Did We Just Watch? We have two films lined up. I can't, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I think that every film that we get before this can never top the next one, but it's like somehow, some way, something happens. It's just like I'm just like, what the fuck did we just watch? And I'm like I said before, I'm happy that we can create a series like this and kind of like bring to our attention films that we didn't watch before, or maybe even films that our listeners haven't even heard of. And so today we want to thank Nicole Matarese and Jeff Angel for bringing these two fucking crazy films to our attention. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's do Greasy Strangler first. I think that that one is going to be kind of a lighter one.
Yeah.
Before we get started though, I want to just do a little throwback. I found a can of Buttonwood's Creature Feature in my fridge. For those of you who don't know, Buttonwood's Brewery did a little collab beer with us. And this is a can of it. This is that guava and pineapple sour that we did with them. So it's still good. It's been in my fridge for a little bit. It's not in the brewery, but you should go and try everything else at Buttonwood's Brewery in Cranston. And you should join us on July 14th as we show Troll 2.
Yeah, definitely. That's another great what the fuck that I just watched.
If
no one's has seen Troll 2 yet, that's a great film, and definitely what the fuck did I just watch. So yeah, like you said earlier, we're going to get into the Greasy Strangler. This was, kind of like mentioned to us by Nicole Matarese. This film came out in 2016. It's a horror comedy. The runtime is an hour and 33 minutes. It's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
All right. It was written by Hoskins, so it's Jim Hoskins and Toby Harvard. This film was produced by people like Daniel Noah. A big name was Elijah Wood. So it was a lot of people that worked on this film. But I want to just kind of like just dive right into this film because it premiered, like I said, it came out in January 22nd of 2016, and I haven't seen this film since last month. You know what I mean? So I think that that's speaking kind of.
Did you know about it?
I have seen like little pieces and clips because I have seen some of John's trailers to his new movies, and so this I had missed. And so I would always sit there and say, "Oh man, that looks decent. Should check it out," because it was just kind of like it was a weird film, and it's won a Discovery Award at the British Independent Film Festival back in 2017, the Empire UK Award for the Best Comedy. This movie reminds me of like Napoleon Dynamite. This movie knows what it has to do. It's not trying to take itself serious. It's not trying to be more than what it is. It's just so many crazy things about it. What are some things that you thought were just crazy that stuck out to you?
All right, so right off the bat, like the music.
Yep.
That song that plays throughout most of the film.
Casio keyboard.
Yeah, it is. But it's like, it's crazy because it like right as soon as you hear that music, I like when you said Napoleon Dynamite, you texted me before I watched it, and you're like, "Oh, I think you're gonna like this. It's like a Napoleon Dynamite-ish." And right out the bat, I'm like, "Yeah, right down to the music," because that felt like a song that would almost be in a scene of Napoleon Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
It is so funny how they do like the pauses, the intentional pauses when people speak. So it's a lot of that like dialogue, almost like Napoleon Dynamite, where someone speaks, like they show the person, they speak, and then there's like silence for a second, and then it goes to the other person. It's almost like delayed reactions on everybody's end. It's just so funny, and the characters are hilarious. The tour, it starts off with the tour and the walking tour. What was this? It was the Bee Gees.
Yeah, it's just like disco walking tour. So it's something they would just always fucking do. It was just like so crazy. So Ronnie, is played by Michael St. Michaels. He runs a disco walking tour along with his son Braden. Um, when a sexy woman, I guess, named Janet kind of shows up, the tour takes a different twist. Like the father and son just start to kind of like go head to head
Yeah.
about this. But just in that whole walking tour, um, three guys that are taking the tour
Yes.
are like known comics, like but in their
Oh,
own way.
okay. Yeah.
So the black guy that's in this film, have you seen Grandma's Boys?
Yes. Yeah.
He's the black guy that's on the couch with the monkey.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like when I seen him, I was like, "What the fuck?"
I
And
thought
then
he
so
looked familiar.
they're like bothering him about fucking free drinks and shit. He's like, "No
Oh
free
my God.
drinks."
And that's the funny thing. Like in this movie, they'll
Snacks.
say a line and then everybody they'll just keep repeating it over and over and over. And he's like, no free drinks. We want free drinks. It just keeps going back and forth for like prolonged periods of time.
Yeah, and it's so odd too because like when I was sitting there looking up a little bit more info on this film, I had seen James Franco actually does like has a movie column and he does reviews on films, and so he kind of like talked about this film and like he even said he loved like how odd this film was, and with the fake penises
Oh
that
my
aren't
God.
the only funny thing about the Greasy Strangler. It was just like just so much more, and so like just watching this film
Yeah.
just was so weird. But
Speaking of the fake penises, there was a lot.
oh yeah.
Like, constantly in the movie, there is male and female, but mostly male, frontal nudity, like
Yeah,
throughout to the point where you almost stop noticing it. It's so frequent. Uh,
yeah.
the grandfather, like the father, has like an abnormally large one, and then the son has like a tiny one, and it's like this whole like dynamic between the father and son is just so funny. Yeah, it's like the dad thinks he's like in charge and the son's trying to like exert his like independence over him.
Mhm.
So there's that whole dynamic. They're constantly going back and forth, but obviously um there's murder happening as well.
Yeah. And so when the film comes on too, it's just the film's called The Greasy Strangler. The film is just how it's about like how obsessed the father and son are with like greasy foods. I mean, just the grease and everything like that. Like, they would make make food and kind of just, Dad, this is the greasiest food you ever had. No fucking way, you bullshit
Yeah,
artist.
you bullshit artist.
And so it just got to the point. So when it like like the grease just also was a bond between them, and it kind of like kept them together, and so it literally did. And so killing, like you we talked about, killing started to happen. The guys um from the
The
walking
tour, yeah.
tour, he pissed Ronnie off to the point where they had to go, what I mean? And so at
Yeah.
that point in time, Ronnie would take that grease and just like cover him. And that was his like Michael Myers mask or his Jason
Yeah,
mask or his
yeah.
whole with the whole outfit
The
to kind of
grease
like
suit. Yeah.
kept his identity, you know, like it wasn't him. So, you know, it was just weird. It was a weird movie. Um,
I wonder, like, I do hope we get a chance to talk to the director, because the idea for Grease, I wonder where that came from, because that is like such a weird thing, and he's obsessed with it. Like he goes to a hot dog stand and he's like arguing with the guy to let him have more grease,
yeah.
and then he like ends up going and like dipping it into a tub of grease and coming out.
And so like I said, like you said, I usually don't like to give away certain things, but I want people to go and watch this film because I was able to reach out to the director and writer of this film, and I want him to come on and talk about this film with us. And so he's down to do it, but he's just in the middle of editing his next film, and he's open to doing it. But I just want to let everybody know he's not a true horror fan.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's the thing where it's like it's cool because it's like the horror community loves this film, and I let him know, like, dude, like, don't worry about it. He doesn't want to feel like awkward that he doesn't like horror. I think that whatever anyone makes and it has like a horror themed elements to it, that the horror community accepts it. So down the road, we're going to be able to have a chance to talk with him about that. So I don't want to give a little bit too much away on this film, but definitely thank you, Nicole Matarese, for suggesting this film. I don't know what I would have done if I have never seen this film.
Yeah. The other part is the car wash.
Oh
So
yeah,
the car wash plays a big part because he goes there after to wipe off the grease. It's
yeah.
the most
Let's go
awkward.
disco dancing, Big Ronnie.
And that's where he meets his buddies there, his blind the blind guy, and he's always talking about disco dancing. They have these like really awkward, funny conversations, and also just watching him in he's like butt naked, and the things are flapping on the sides of him, and the wind's blowing. Oh my god, it is so freaking funny. This movie is super funny. Tons of great quotes.
Yeah, like hootie tootie disco cutie.
Hootie tootie disco
So
cutie,
cute.
hootie tootie disco cutie.
Janet.
That's what I love. They like just they repeat things over and over, like the father and son. Shit artist, shit
Oh,
artist, and they just keep going
bullshit
back.
artist. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Oh, just even that, just that, like to go back, like with the Indian guy when he was asking, when they were saying what's in the chips, and potato, and he's like, "What? What are you saying? Slow down." He's like, "Potato." I'm like, "What the fuck?" He goes, I think he said potato. Oh yeah, and it was like,
Yeah.
that
Oh
was
my
so
god.
long.
The oh my god, yeah. This film was just too much. It was too much.
Yeah. So definitely check that out. Like I said again, that's streaming on Amazon Prime. You can buy it on all other formats. I think they have like a cool deluxe edition, like Blu-ray package that you can probably find. We had some cool artwork. So definitely look out for that.
Put
And
your kids to sleep if you're gonna watch this, though. Put your kids to sleep.
yeah, put them asleep.
Not like
Or you're gonna have to explain to them like some big fake dicks.
yeah, even the like the sex scenes and
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my god, the sex scene between the dad and the woman was like they were saying just the craziest things. What do you
Oh
say? I think to blow ropes or something.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Man, I think I probably had to watch that movie probably like fucking 4 times. I'm just like, Big Ronnie, let's go disco dancing.
That guy was awesome. Oh my god. Yes, yes, definitely check this film out. It is a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. On to our next film.
Damn you, Jeff.
Jeff Angel of
How dare you?
Deadbeats Bar in Providence. So I'm repping with my Deadbeat shirt on. Jeff is a buddy of ours who we met through the Death Drop guys,
Yep.
and he is a great dude. So I can't be mad at him, but he suggested we watch the 1976 film Demon Lover.
Yeah.
And damn you, Jeff.
Why?
Why
Why did you do that to me?
we were having such a good run of films, and then we got Demon Lover. And we're gonna get some hate for this because I guarantee you, Brandon, there's a group of people who love Demon Lover.
Yeah. I think
And,
so.
and that group of people is not us.
Yeah. Not me. Not me.
No. No.
You know.
So the tagline for this one is a group of teenagers hanging around a cemetery get involved with a satanic priest who calls up a demon from hell. I'm not even sure if that's the actual plot. It sounds somewhat accurate, but to tell you that I knew what was going on would be a complete lie. I'd be actually bold-faced lying to everybody on here. Did you watch this 4 times as well, Brandon?
I watched this 1.5.
1.5. Oh, you made it a half.
1.5.
How many takes did it take you to get through it?
A lot, because
Yeah.
going into this film, I know it was like SOD, so no, SOV. This
Yeah,
was
yeah.
shot on video. A lot of times, and plus, like just the times of this film when it came out, it's hard to watch. Like films like this are hard to watch, like the sound, the acting, and everything like that. So to me, it was just like fuck. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what did Dave pick? What did fucking Jeff really just fucking like throw on a table for us to fucking watch. Like, why did he
Yeah.
do this to me? That's what was just going through my head. It's just like there's so many things. Um,
So I mean, that's the part that people don't know. So like, we ask people, we're asking you guys for recommendations, but then the way
yeah.
that Brandon and I operated after that is we take our list of recommendations, and he chooses one and I choose one.
Mhm.
So Brandon chose Greasy Strangler for this one, and I chose Demon Lover because I was like, Jeff Angel picked that one. That's got to be a good one.
Gotta be good.
So you nailed it though. To me, like, the sound quality actually did make me enjoy this probably less than I would have.
Yeah.
That, like, the shot on video quality, obviously it is what it is.
Mhm.
We understand how that would be, but it was hard to understand sometimes what they were saying.
Yeah. It reminded me like one of those old pornos. What was it, like Deep Throat? You remember that?
I think
Like
Deep
just
Throat
the
was
whole
better quality
style.
than
So
this
it just
one, but yeah.
so
Yeah,
it gave me that style. It was just like I'm like I feel like what am I watching? Like what am I watching? Like what is this?
it looked like one of those films that would have been on like Joe Bob when
Yeah.
he did, like, what was it, the thing or thingy or something like that. Like,
Yep.
he would say it's like one of the worst films ever made when he did this, or when he did a shot on video features.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I would try to rewatch this again and see if I could maybe put the closed captioning on, and maybe I would appreciate it better. I just think I was going into it thinking it was going to be something else. Uh,
Yeah.
I understood it so little that I actually had to go and read reviews to kind of see what I just watched. And
Mm.
I found someone sum it up pretty well. And this is actually what we watched, and I know it was because this matched what I was seeing. A
Yep.
long-haired heavy metal dude, Lavel Blessing, is a black magician. He lures some young virgins into his coven to perform some magical mumbo jumbo. After his unwilling virgin and her boyfriend leave the coven, Lavel becomes angry and he unleashes a bloodthirsty demon with gruesome revenge on its mind.
Mm.
That made sense.
Yeah, and I had seen too, like, some people say that they put a lot of love and care into the demon, like the way that the effects were. I can give it that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
just from that point. But you know what it kind of like some people would say it's like something like Witchboard, a little bit like a 70s Witchboard movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Like which
So
with like zero budget.
yeah. And that's what it is, I think that's and this film might not have been for us, but I think that, a person that makes films say, hey, like Witchboard, that probably inspired them to make a film with the higher budget of what somebody couldn't do. Like they couldn't sit there and say, look at like Evil Dead when it first came out, it didn't have
Yeah.
like that main budget
Yep.
and everything. Like they did what they could do, and so I respect that. But it's hard. It's hard to watch. It's kind of it would be like one of those like public access like
Yeah.
movies, like a long
Yeah.
time ago. You would see
Oh,
people
for
just
sure.
like random shit come on. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's not for everyone, but I think that like you said, there's a lot of appreciation for SOV horror out there, and I think
Yeah.
that for people that love SOV horror, I think that actually this is probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, this would
So,
definitely be that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to shit on this too much because I know
oh
that
yeah,
there's probably an audience for this. Actually, Donald G. Jackson and Jerry Yunkins would directed this. Donald G. Jackson goes on to eventually do Hell Comes to Frogtown,
okay,
which
yeah,
Roddy Piper, right?
yep,
And that had a decent budget, and he's done a number of films since this one.
yeah,
So his career did eventually kind of lead to some bigger budget projects and just a lot of films in general. Hell Comes to Frogtown had a decent budget, and I remember watching that and being like, oh, this is pretty okay.
yep,
uh, Starring Christmas Robins, a bunch of other people, but most importantly, Gunnar Hansen has a role in
yep,
this film.
yeah,
That plays a professor.
yeah,
Super interesting. Another little tidbit: Damien Kaluta, who is in this film, he plays a character named Val Mayerick. He's also one of the creators of Howard the Duck.
okay, yeah, that's a classic movie right there.
Yeah, so I actually think he might be one of the creators of Howard the Duck, the comic.
Yep,
And so that's interesting. This actually has a pretty badass like cover art to it.
mm-hmm.
So I was reading something that like maybe that like it kind of connects to the Howard the Duck comic. Like maybe he had some involvement with the cover art. I don't know that. That's totally not a fact, just kind of an assumption.
Well, that's a good something put out there. I think that adds something to so the listeners probably be like, oh yeah, Howard the Duck, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, because that definitely I didn't know that, and so I'm like, oh, I loved Howard the Duck, so
Yes.
that takes
Yeah.
me into like, okay, well maybe this group of cast and everybody that kind of created this film, like this was their start. This is where everything kind of took off, and like you said, things got better. So
Yeah, 1976. So Gunnar Hansen, right around Texas Chainsaw
yeah,
time.
around that time.
Yep. So some crazy things in this film, like there, like you said, I do like the demon. I thought he was cool. I read some people kind of shit on it. I
Yeah,
actually thought the demon was the best thing about this film.
yeah, it was.
I liked that demon. I thought it was cool considering it was like such a low budget film. Then all of a sudden they get the shot to the demon. It feels like they put all their emphasis into, hey, let's make a cool demon.
Yeah, I think that it was like, I think what happened first was they had an idea about the demon and then kind of focused on like what it would look like, and then just said, hey, let's call this fucking film Demon Lover, and then just
Yeah.
went around that, like, you know what I mean, and just
Yep.
kind of like created it. So I think that's probably, I'm not sure, I wasn't part of the writing team but or the creation of this film, but I'm pretty sure that's where it came from, like, you know what I mean,
Yep.
because it was just like, you know how sometimes some movies they put all that money into
Yeah, like it
onto
might
it
be
and
the
everything that happens.
gore
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, so that's definitely what it seemed. There's actually another title for this film, Devil Master. I guess there's a video version of it called Devil Master, which is said to be the most complete version of it.
Yeah.
So if you guys see that, I guess that's the best one to watch. We watched this one. I'm assuming you watched it on Tubi too.
I did.
Yep. So it's on Tubi, Demon Lover. The detective was an interesting character. There was a pretty funny quote where he comes into a party, and it was like the party was super weird. Like he did not fit into that party at all. It was like a real weird mixture of people. But someone asked him if he wants a Bloody Mary. He goes, Bloody Mary? No thanks. I've had a Bloody Pam, a Bloody Sue, a Bloody and his wife's like, like nudging him, like, stop. It's like this really weird humor, but like it does try to be funny at parts. There's like an extensive like kickboxing training scene, which I didn't understand why that was in. There's just some weird scenes, but I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here and I'm looking at some reviews. It's like, you ever seen a guy get a bolt in a dick from a crossbow? Yes, once. Heaps of fun. There's so much here I like. Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about this. It's like some people found it a lot of fun and some people found it boring.
Yeah. Yeah, so and someone put here, you know, the first half hour is so bad, but once the goofy demon is summoned, it starts killing everyone. I started to semi enjoy myself. So, you know, I think that happens with a lot of movies, you know what I mean, around this time. You know what I mean? I think it's like it's that slow burn, you know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, fine, like, and that was something that I don't appreciate in a lot of films, but some films I do, because it has to have a big payoff.
Yeah.
And so if it's a slow burn and it just doesn't go anywhere, I'm just like, all right, I can't do this.
Oh,
But it has to go somewhere.
We live in a time where everything's so bang, 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 bang. If it's not fast paced, a lot of us don't have the attention for it anymore. So when we watch these films from the 70s, watching something kind of drag on is so tough for us to sit there and tolerate. We just we just don't have that attention span anymore. And this film, just like, I don't know, sometimes I'm like, it was hard to tell. Is it trying to be funny? Is it trying to be serious? There was like in the beginning, they're like, when he invites him to the coven, someone asks him for something. He's like, go get my black magic stuff out of my trunk. Or something like, it's like the silly stuff. Like, is that a joke? Is it trying to be intentional? Yeah. There were some taglines for this film, which I thought were good. The first one is the horror and the occult explodes into terror and violence and terror. Another one is at last the truth about demons. I don't know if I learned anything about demons. And then the last one was horror, violence, and terror beyond belief. So I don't know, kind of cool. I would put that on a poster.
I think the poster is actually cool.
Yes,
it doesn't have anything on the poster or anything like that, but it has some cool font. Yeah, like, you know, like the little bubble letters and stuff like that. So hey, it gives off something. Like they tried something. They had cool artwork, good font. I'm all on board on that, so that worked for me. So
In another world, I will, when I actually have time to rewatch a film,
yeah,
I would consider rewatching this again, knowing what I'm getting into and seeing if I enjoy it more. I
yeah.
actually cannot wait to see Jeff again and be like, do you really like Demon Lover, or were you pranking us? And just see what he says. I have a feeling he probably likes it.
Yeah.
Jeff strikes me as
Um,
a Demon Lover.
yeah, I think that Jeff definitely loves a lot of like different horror. I think, and it's at that time, like you know what I mean. Like we talk about how movies can kind of like when you had seen them, how when you like you probably seen it with like his brother or something like that. And probably it's like it was a good time with him, and they probably like, joked about how bad it was and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or anything like that. If I don't know if he has a brother, but cousins or something, but you know, it just happens like because like just weird movies. Because I had the same thing with my cousins. Like a movie can be so bad, but we can fucking sit back and recite the lines and then
Yep.
just make like so much fun about the movie and just remember the time watching it together and like just say how like bad it was and just like I said, just continue giving
This
reading off the
this would be
lines.
a film I could picture like a bunch of horror lovers sitting in a room drinking some beers and watching this and kind of
Yeah.
just laughing and enjoying kind of the cheesiness of it.
Yeah, I think our group of people probably would enjoy it. Like you know what I mean? Like something as like a background, like a thing, like if it was like first movie that we were if we don't show like a double
Yeah.
feature, I think somebody would be like,
You,
oh,
you
that's
know who
not
would hate it?
oh.
Dave the sound guy.
Oh, he definitely would hate that movie because this fucking movie is all chopped up.
He'd be there at his board trying to adjust the all the
Yes,
levels. He would
yes,
not like this film at all.
dude. You know what movie? Like, I don't understand how Jacko's sound was so chopped up.
Yeah.
Like, that was bad.
That was a 90s movie too, so you would have assumed that by like that time the sound would have been okay. They had decent name in there.
Dave was up there, fucking. He was fucking.
Yeah,
Oh
DJ
no,
Dave.
fucking DJ Face Off. Like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah, yeah. Our sound guy Dave is like he's definitely a master of his craft. He likes to make sure his sound sounds perfect. I guess what would you call him? Like an audiophile, I guess, because
oh yeah, definitely.
he hears things that I don't hear for sure.
Yeah,
Like he takes pride in his work, which is cool because like you know you need someone like that when you're putting on events. You want someone who actually cares how it looks, how it sounds, and he cares how it sounds a lot, which is why Dave makes our events so great.
yeah. And that's the thing. It's like it took time, but I love Dave because it's
Yeah,
like I find myself I had the same issues of how like when I'm at the events like how they need to be ran and how it needs to go like
yeah,
the whole setup and then like I get in that zone and it's like I can be a little much just like how he can be a little bit much. But if you go to a PVD horror movie event, do not sit in front of him because he will stand up in front of you and we're sorry
yeah,
get a
yeah,
bad seat because he's going to be trying to sit there and adjust the volume so it's
yeah.
perfect. So
He'll hear something mid movie and jump over to the board and be like, "Oh shit, I gotta adjust this." And it's like, and we're in the corner going, "Dave,
sit your ass down. Gotta love him though.
So yeah, we'll probably not be able to show this at a movie night. But if you have your friends over to your house, it's on Tubi. Give it a watch with your buddies. You will love it. Well, I don't know if you'll love it. It will be a good time. But Greasy Strangler, you will love.
Yeah, it might just be called the demon because I don't know if you're going to be a lover.
There was some demon loving going on in the film, though, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
All
I
right.
think this was a jump off from Deep Throat, the movie. I think it was like filmed after they were making it.
It was originally titled Demon Throat, but
Demon Throat. There's probably some girl out there with her name's Demon Throat.
I want to meet her.
No, you don't. She's gonna take everything you got. Shit.
We need more movies. We need people to throw more movies our way. So
Yeah.
this last time that I put up the post for movies, it was slacking a little bit. We got a couple of recommendations. But we want to hear more crazy movies that you guys want us to watch.
Mhm.
Please. We can't ask you enough.
Yes. So let's put this out there. So if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, or anything, and you're not following our social media page, follow us. We're PVD Horror at Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
On the
All PVD Horror.
TikToks. Yep.
Email us pvdhorror401 at gmail.com. You can send us in all your recommendations any way you want to. YouTube, whatever you can do to get into contact with us. If you're not following us on all those streaming services or whatever, get it done. Get it done. Get in contact with us. We're very on point with getting back to you guys and having good conversations and kind of keeping the horror community going. And even if if you love our show, pass on to your friends, your family, everyone. This is a kid-friendly show sometimes.
Sometimes. Once in a while.
It can be a family event, so
I
definitely.
also want to say, because we're obviously big lovers of all horror media and all that stuff. If you guys haven't gotten a subscription to Fangoria, make sure you guys jump on that and use the code PVD Horror to get 20% off your order, whether it's a single episode, like a back episode issue or something, or if it's a yearly subscription. Use that code, get 20% off. It knocks down the price quite a bit, which is really helpful because that's a quality ass magazine. So, you're paying a little bit for it, but it's definitely worthwhile. I know I love my subscription.
Yeah, new magazine should be coming out soon this month.
Yep. I just saw the cover the other day, so it should be coming to the mail pretty soon. Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us these recommendations. We love this. This has probably become one of my favorite segments because it is just, I love like how casual and laid back this can be. And I love that people are getting us to watch films that I hadn't thought to watch or that had always been on my list. And now I'm just getting to now. But either way, we super appreciate it. So thank you.
Definitely.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Take it easy. Get those recommendations.